All right, hopefully everyone can hear me here. This is Kevin Crouch with South Metro Weather. We're doing our first broadcast, really the first broadcast in a while from the field, certainly with the kind of detail and setup that we have here. And we have a front that's moving in. Now it's going to take, it's kind of taking its time, a little bit behind what I was expecting. Well, not really actually, it's 4 o'clock. And 4:15, and it's just starting to move into Ellis County. So actually, I think it's actually pretty well on time with what the HR model was telling us. And I would say it's really only a few minutes away from my location. I'm here in the North Grove area of Waxahachie, and looking at the radar here, looks like it's moved into Midlothian. So in the Midlothian area, you should be feeling it at this point. If you're in the comments there, let me know what you're seeing, and we will. I'm hoping the video quality is good. It's I can't quite see everything too well. Certainly not as good as in the studio there, and it's in. So you're okay. Yeah, so it's in Midlothian now, and the cold air is at least. Now I was looking at conditions behind the front, and the wind picks up pretty quickly, and temperatures drop as well. So this is definitely, by all accounts, a very noticeable front that is coming in. And we are, of course, not expecting, so looking at the comments here, yeah, definitely, some winds coming in, and we had clouds clear, some upper level clouds cleared out several minutes ago, just a few that are left. So we're in a great position, not only for the front to come in, but for temperatures to quickly plummet tonight. We will be getting down into the teens tonight. So I've had a lot of people asking me, when do we start to actually drip the faucets and cover the spigots, those kind of things? Tonight is absolutely, really right now. If the front hasn't moved through there yet, you have a very short time to actually get outside and do those things before the cold air actually gets here. This is a dry front. We won't have any precipitation with the front itself. That will be coming in tomorrow night into Monday morning, as we have a disturbance that comes in and arrives right in the middle of the cold air. Not often that happens, but El Nino has helped that, because El Nino pulled that jet stream down farther south so that those storm systems are going across our area quite a bit more. And this disturbance is a smaller one. What's bringing the cold air in is a stronger system, but sometimes these smaller systems are able to just kind of ride the jet stream through and come in with that colder air already in place. So we don't have the rain with the front, and I know that that's been confusing to some. Trust me, for me, it's been confusing as well, trying to message, hey, we got all this stuff coming in, but the front is coming nearly a whole 24 hours ahead of time. And so that's not really what we normally see. We normally see the precipitation come in along with that front. The winds are still coming out of the southwest here, and what's going to happen is, as the front gets closer, these southwest winds are going to calm. And then all of a sudden there's going to be a big push from the northwest as these winds change. The front pushes through, and I'm out here to experience it. There's not a whole lot of weather I get to experience because I'm usually in the studio, but I wanted to get out here and check this out. And something that's been interesting, earlier I was looking at temperatures, and you could very clearly see the compressional heating. And that's when you have the front coming in, it compresses the warm air ahead of it, pushes it out of the way, but as it's doing it, you warm up. So we were right around 60 degrees here in our area. It was 64 in Bridgeport right before the front moved through. And so they went up a good 4, 5, 6 degrees there from where they were, just because of that compressional heating right ahead of the front. So let me check and see where we are in terms of that front. It's been a little slow getting updates on the radar here. Okay, yeah, looks like it is just about, it's coming down 287, almost due to right down 287. That's interesting, just the way that it's oriented and the way it's tilted. So yeah, right down 287, and just moving into Oakleaf and Ovilla right now, coming down 35. And so if you're in Midlothian, you're definitely in those strong winds that are probably coming out of the northwest already for at least most of you. And I'm just going to go check these things out. Power out in Midlothian. That's interesting. I haven't heard anything about that yet. So, okay, so a power outage reported in Midlothian. The only thing I can imagine there is possibly strong winds associated with that. We don't have any storms, any ice, anything like that at the moment. But if we do have those, if we do have a situation where those strong winds are causing issues for power lines, that sort of thing, that's a possibility. So I want to talk about the conditions we're expecting behind this front when we do have those winds come in and bring temperatures all the way down, and then the precipitation starts, like I said, a good 24 hours after the front has already come through. We have a winter weather advisory that starts at noon tomorrow. That's when we'll start to see the precipitation kind of start to become more widespread in our area. It'll generally probably spread in from west to east. So doesn't mean it's going to start right at noon. That's just when we're going to start seeing it become more widespread across our area. So I personally think by sundown tomorrow, it'll probably be fairly widespread across our area, continue overnight, and then taper off probably after noon. Certainly, well, I would say starting to taper off in the morning, certainly by noon, 1, 2 o'clock, it shall, I'm going to be dramatic here, should at least be mostly tapered off by that point. So I think that's pretty much what we're looking at in terms of timing and travel impacts tomorrow. We could be looking at 1/10 of an inch of accumulation of whatever falls, as well as ice. So the thing is, and I shared the map earlier where we're expecting mostly snow really from, I would say, I-30 northward. We could get some snow in the Metroplex there in Fort Worth and Dallas. South of I-30, though, it's going to be mostly a mix. And then I would say south of Waxahachie and Cleburne, that's going to be mostly freezing rain. You may get some sleet there too, but I think that's going to be mostly freezing rain there. And if you've seen me give one of my school presentations, of course, that all has to do with the warm air aloft and how much the rain actually freezes before it gets to the ground. So just bear in mind that the farther south you go, the lower the chance you have of getting any snow. However, by the same token, that means that you have more treacherous conditions, because freezing rain, like I talked about this morning with the glaze on the donut, it just spreads out and then it freezes and it causes all kinds of ice and all kinds of trouble. And sleet, a mix of sleet and freezing rain, can do just the same thing. So really our area, if you can plan on being home tomorrow, fortunately most schools are closed tomorrow, so if you can plan on doing that and just being home and being out of the way, then personally I would say that's the best thing to do to make sure that you're taken care of and make sure that you're not out in a treacherous situation. And yes, the grid hasn't failed or anything. So yeah, the power outage is not due to the storm overall. But I would say again, it's possible that winds have picked up and knocked something loose or whatever the case is. That's a possibility that you could be looking at. I need to mention this job shirt I'm wearing came from Star City Tactical Uniform here in Waxahachie. They outfitted me. They gave me some coffee. They gave me a really nice polo with the logo. This has the logo as well, and they got me very well prepared for covering the next several days. So thank you so much to them. I will say this is probably one of the most comfortable pieces of cold air apparel I've ever had. I mean, it's fleece inside. It's just cozy, and I know that this is going to keep me plenty warm as that storm comes through. And I was joking with some folks, I don't really have a new guy or an intern or somebody else to go outside and deal with the conditions. So unfortunately, I'm all I've got. So I'm going to have to be out reporting on this over the course of the next few days. We will stay below freezing from tonight. Really from this afternoon, we should be below freezing by the time we're eating dinner tonight. And then we will continue on until Wednesday, when we finally get out of the freezing point. Some areas south of us could get right around freezing on Tuesday afternoon, depending on how much sun we get, but most of us will stay below freezing on Tuesday. back into the teens Tuesday night, and then we finally get close to 50 degrees on Wednesday, and then Thursday we will be warming up even more, looks like in the mid 50s, and then Friday another front comes in Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, but that won't be near as deep a intrusion of cold air as this one. Really, we'll just be back in the 40s for Friday. So we have another front in the forecast, not near as strong as this one. And just want to check a few things. Okay, I might have said tomorrow is, today's Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday. So Sunday into Monday. Yeah, I think I might have gotten my days mixed up there, which is easy to do when I am all kinds of, I'm trying to keep things straight. And again, like I say, the precipitation coming in a full 24 hours after the front has completely messed up my mental setup here. I'm so used to the front bringing the precipitation with it that, my whole focus is all kind of messed up. So, but hopefully, folks know what I'm talking about. Jade in downtown Midlothian a few minutes ago, that chilly wind gusted and the temp dropped 10 degrees real quick. That is absolutely true. And yeah, it's getting cold very, very fast. So I haven't seen an update from the radar. Yep, there it is. So looks like the front is just about to move through the Sardis area. So if you're in the area of Sardis, Waxahachie High School there, that's where the front is. And there's really nothing, looking at a few contrails there and things, but there's nothing. There's no cloud deck or anything with this, so I'm not seeing a visual indication of where the front is. But boy, am I going to feel it. And that's what I wanted to capture today on this broadcast, is be out here as it happens. Again, I don't get to cover a lot of weather in person and be out there doing it. And when I figured out finally how to do kind of a broadcast on the road, I was happy to do that. I don't know how pristine or focused this video is. It's kind of hard to see on a small monitor here because I've got the video kind of small so I can see the chat and everything, but hopefully it's at least relatively clear to where it's not real blurry or anything. But we will certainly try to do this more often. And I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. And I had to get the reporter style microphone too. I mean, I just love this thing. And yeah, I know that these might be out of style for web creators, but hey, it is what it is, and it makes me feel more important at least. And I think for me, this is exactly kind of the setup that I would like to do on the road and be able to do more live broadcasts out there. And when it comes to the live broadcasts, and we're about to have the front come through, and we'll focus on that. But right before we do, I want to talk about the fact that some people wonder why we don't go live very often. And really, most of the time before really I would say the past couple of months, people have said that they liken me going live to breaking into the Cowboy game, right? So for a lot of people, they're telling me, well, you don't need to go live unless you need to go live. It's like breaking into the Cowboy game. It's when people see it's live, they know to pay attention. So I don't know. I mean, people have said, why don't you go live to talk about this or that? And it's one of those things that I've kind of debated here and there. I've had a lot of businesses and organizations and things say, hey, why don't you go live here or there? And that's a possibility. But it's one of those things that really has to be considered, because I'm serving a lot of people. And of course, everybody has their tendencies, their expectations, and you can't serve all of those. But I try to make sure that this platform is focused not only on the day-to-day and trying to be entertaining every now and then, but handling those situations as well, where you take severe weather seriously and you handle those things when you need to. Now, I'm noticing here something that I watch for every time a cold front comes in is Southwest Airlines is now flying around to the south to land into the wind at Love Field. That is my indication that the wind has changed up at Love Field, so they are making that adjustment to their flight plans, and the wind has stopped. The wind has stopped right at my location, so the next thing we're going to get is that big wall of cold air that's going to blow into our area. It just got very little wind from the south, and this thing is a little warm, so I'm excited for the cold air to get here and cool me down, because, man, it is we are definitely feeling the compression, compression, excuse me, compressional heat. I'm getting so excited I can't even talk. But that sun is bright. The temperatures are warming up right now. I can feel it. That front's about to come in. The last time I did something like this, we had a cold front that pushed in, and the first thing I smelled was smoke. And I looked at the horizon. I didn't see any smoke. It was wildfires in Oklahoma that the front had carried all that smoke down this way. So the power of weather, I mean, it really, really gets your attention, and it's really, really neat. Okay, I just felt the slightest breeze from the northwest here. So that front is almost here. It's coming. The winds have stopped, and this is where you have just a moment of complete quiet. The southerly winds have been pretty well blocked. In any moment now, the cold front will come in. Those winds, those strong northwest winds will blow in. So if you're in Waxahachie right now, hey, it's about to happen. It's about to come through. We're about to feel a very, very different environment here that will set the stage for, unfortunately, some travel impacts really starting about 24 hours from now. So while we're waiting for this, I'm going to jump in and look at some of these comments here. Just kind of going back. Okay, so the video quality is good. That's great. Okay, yeah. So just lots of reports of, yeah, and it's interesting. Lots of air traffic now going over me, and again, that's where they have adjusted that flight plan, DFW Love Field, to where now they're coming around and they're going to land coming in from the south. And that's your indicator, right? That front has adjusted those winds, changed those winds to your north. And just a really, really interesting detail there. Gone to 61 to 57 in the past 10 minutes. That will drop pretty quickly. Again, just to let everybody know, I am in the North Grove area here, right here in one of the new additions off of Grove Creek Road here, just to the northwest of Waxahachie, so northeast, excuse me, of Waxahachie. 77 is just right over there, so that's where I'm at, and the front is moving here very quickly, and we'll get here very, very soon. Okay, here it is. Feeling a little bit of a wind from the northwest here. I don't see... There's no flags in my location, so I don't have anything to gauge. I can't see any flags or anything, any windsocks or anything that would blow and kind of indicate that for me. I should have put a flag like right in front of me or something. Okay, yeah, so the front coming through the Mount Peak area. It should have just passed through Sardis just over the past few minutes. Move some things around here. And I see that there's another tree service. I got to mention, Liberty Tree Service is ready to, they actually sponsor South Metro Weather. They're the official tree service of this company, this brand, and they are ready to take care of any downed limbs or anything you might have. That might be a reality for you over the next few days with the ice and the winds. So you have any tree issues, Liberty Tree Service will take care of that. TJ Fabby, he enjoys what he does, and it's really fun to watch him. I'm getting a cool wind here. It's just kind of starting to pick up. Here we go. Okay, now it's picking up. Now we have the front moving in, and it's definitely much cooler. Yeah, here we go. Okay, right here in Waxahachie, again, I'm in the North Grove area. I've been having trouble with this thing staying straight here. I'm right here in the North Grove area, and that front is just starting to move in. We're just starting to feel these winds picking up. Wow, yeah, that's increasing pretty fast. In fact, this high grass behind me is probably the best indicator you have of just in a second they're probably going to be sideways, because as we're just starting to feel the wind. And it's always so interesting when you have a front that doesn't have any precipitation or any kind of cloud deck or anything with it. But oh yeah, there it is, right there. There it is. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the Arctic front has arrived, and that is a cold push. Man, that changes fast. If you ever doubt the power of the weather in North Texas, which not many do, for obvious reasons, but this is it, man. And this is why I love what I do, because you can come outside and some likes going to sports games. I love a good football game myself, but man, this is something you just can't beat. And I can hear it behind me. You probably hear it in the mic too. The good news, Terry, the good news is I have the tripod on the, tripod is on a, let's see. Yeah, the tripod is against the truck. So actually that's, I definitely thought of that beforehand. Yeah, I'm sure my hair is indicating the wind pretty well. Hopefully the wind is not causing too much of an issue in the microphone. Wow, yeah, that is a very dry, cold wind. That is definitely a cold front, and I can actually see someone walking their dog at the park. Several yards in front of me. In fact, I'll tell you, if you haven't let the dogs get out and run around yet, you definitely want to do that very quickly, because it's going to be getting very cold very quickly. Always bring a heavy backpacker weight to hang from the tripod. Yeah, I've thought about that, and I've got one here, but the tripod is stabilized up against the truck, so. That's the good news, is it can't really go anywhere. The truck bed is holding that up. So definitely thought of that. But the cold front has arrived. The winds have picked up. It's interesting, we got a really big push of the wind, and then it kind of died down a little bit, and then it will be increasing behind the front. So if you're ahead of the front, then you still have some time. The front's moving through Waxahachie right now, probably moving through Itasca here, just kind of with the orientation of the front, probably moving into Ferris very soon. We'll be moving into the Ennis area, Palmer, down towards Italy, Milford, of course, from there towards Hillsborough, and then on towards Corsicana as well. So be prepared for this front as it's coming through. And again, we have precipitation coming in, not with the front here now, but the precipitation will be coming in with the disturbance that is coming in tomorrow night into early Monday. Hopefully, I'm thinking maybe lunchtime Monday that will have tapered off. But for now, it is going to be pretty heavy during that time. Looking at, let's catch up on some comments here. I thought about trying to put product in to hold the hair down, but I thought, hey, what better indicator than how windy it is than the hair? So I decided to let that go. Just moved into Maypearl there. Hair just went supersonic. That's great. Yeah, winds picking up between Grandview and Maypearl. Yeah, and I could tell the mic was definitely picking it up. I mean, it's got a little bit of a windscreen on it, but clearly not enough. So maybe I'll have to look into getting something that's a little more protected against the wind. But it's definitely cold out here, getting colder. Definitely not the 60 plus degrees that we had a moment ago. The temperature is going to be continuing to drop quickly. And in fact, if I can check the weather station at the studio here, that's still saying 64 degrees, and that it looks like that's an old report, so that'll get updated here pretty soon. Yeah, it hasn't quite hit Ennis yet, but it definitely will. And as I mentioned, temperatures will be getting colder as we go through the day, the cold air is going to be filtering in here. The strong winds are going to be carrying it with it for sure. And as we get through the next several hours, temperatures will be dropping. We'll be in the teens by early tomorrow morning. There it is. Wow. Woo! So we will be looking at temperatures in the teens by tomorrow morning. You need to have anything outside that's loose taken inside, anchored down, whatever the case is, because very strong winds follow the front end of this front. It's only going to deteriorate from here, and there it goes. Bummer. Well, there it goes. Well, I thought I think we still got audio. Man, so the wind came in from a different direction for a moment and blew that over. Let me just let me make an adjustment here. All right. So yeah, that's always fun. Whoever told me to put a bag on the camera, well, you were prophetic. But what I'll tell you is that I'm going to go ahead and get back to the studio after this wonderfully failed. And so the winds kind of whipped around for a second. I wasn't anticipating that, and came in just at the perfect angle, and I'm talking just at the perfect angle, to blow the camera down. So yeah, I'll probably do this with somebody else holding that next time, but I'm sure that's fine. These things are pretty resilient. But stay tuned to South Metro Weather. I'm going to get inside and get warm because it got cold fast. So stay tuned. More to come from South Metro Weather over the next